Hello, my beautiful humans. You little cutie little... I just want to squeeze you. I just want to pinch your little cheekies. My lovely humans, welcome back to my channel. I am doing great because the sun is out and I can still film a video and I get natural light and it's 4 o'clock, so I'm happy. I posted on my Instagram like a little question box being like, ask me any questions about body image. If you want advice for body image, that is what this video is. All about body image healing and learning how to view your body in a healthier way. That has been my journey for the past probably like 2 years, slowly. And I know it's probably going to take many more years. Even if that means not loving my body at first or ever, that's okay. I just want to get to a place where I just feel okay with it. That's been my aim, to just feel neutral about my body. I talk a lot about my body image journey on Instagram and TikTok. I also have a podcast that's about my healing / spiritual journey. I will link everything below so you can check it out. I hope that these answers help you feel a little bit better about your body today, because I know how debilitating hating your body feels, because you have to live in it. You literally have no choice. For a little context, if you don't know me, I've struggled with body dysmorphia, disordered eating. I grew up in a modeling family. So along with the typical pressures of growing up in the early 2000s and the type of media and messaging we've been exposed to, I also grew up in a modeling family. I was a child model and actor. My mother owned a modeling studio. So appearance has always been a really big deal for me and my family. That's probably made it extra hard to feel good about my body because I've always been like hyper critical of it. Let's get into the questions. Thank you for sending them in. Y'all are so cute. How do you find a balance between keeping healthy habits and healing your body image? I made another video, how to stop hating your body. I'll link it below. And in that video, I talked about intuitive eating and how in healing my body image, I actually had to just allow myself to eat whatever I'm craving. Trying not to restrict myself and actually going in the complete opposite direction has really helped heal my relationship with eating, because I hadn't allowed myself to eat the foods that I really wanted to eat. So there's this like pit inside of me that's still wanting to eat those foods. Another thing I mentioned in the previous video is that I have stopped with the really intense exercise regimens. I don't do any exercise that I don't want to do, and I'm a lot more gentle in the way that I exercise. It doesn't mean I've stopped exercising, but I just have found exercises that are more gentle on my body. So for example, yoga, going for walks, even just like stretching every day. Those are the types of movement that I've been drawn to because they feel good and they don't stress me out. That has been my journey, finding a balance between still being healthy and having healthy habits, but also allowing myself to do and eat whatever is my heart's desire. Everyone has a different opinion about what healthy is, and I also think that it's very subjective to the person, right? You know, when we're healthy, our bodies all look super different. I am not as thin as I used to be, but I am healthier than I used to be. This is kind of how my body is regulating itself. If you come from a place of truly loving yourself and wanting to care for your body, I think that your actions will reflect that intention. Depending on where your heart's at and where your intention is at, I think that the healthy habits will just naturally flow from the state of mind that you have. So for example, 3 years ago, I would have been forcing myself to maybe go to a spin class or maybe go to a HIIT class out of fear of trying to keep my body looking a certain way. So out of control and out of fear. However, now, since I've kind of switched my mindset, when I do go to a spin class or a HIIT class, I don't really do HIIT classes anymore, let's be honest. But let's say I do go to a spin class, I always base it on, is this going to make me feel good? Am I going to actually enjoy my time here? So I think that the healthy habits will just flow once you really zero in on that mindset of wanting to care for your body and wanting to do what's best for your body, no matter how it looks. I hope that helped. This is hard. How do you quiet bad thoughts when you're around people who are dieting, etc.? It's so hard. It is so hard. Oh, the people that you surround yourself with can also really affect your mindset about yourself. Sometimes you can change who you're around and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't change who you live with, right? If you can change who you spend your time around, maybe hang out with friends that don't have that negative self-talk, that don't constantly obsess over talking about their bodies. That will help you. But if you can't change who you're around, if someone starts talking about their body in a negative way around you, I would suggest to just be very, very present when this is happening and notice if you start getting triggered. And if you start getting triggered, walk away from the situation, change the subject, don't respond. Don't give in to this type of negative self-talk if someone else is. And you know, if someone's on a diet, I know how triggering it can be though to see someone doing that and you feeling like you also have to do it because it's part of your like prior programming, like you used to do it, so you're like, yeah, I would just say limit your time around these people, and if you can't, change the subject, talk about something else, or just don't respond. Don't keep that conversation going with that person. You can also, if it's someone close to you, be like, hey, like talking about this really triggers me, like I'm trying to heal my body image and like this is really not helping me. So it depends on who it is, right? If you're comfortable being confrontational with that person, but I know how hard confrontation is sometimes. How do you deal with food guilt? You're such an inspiration and so brave and beautiful, BTW. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's hard because I know for a lot of people, the feeling of being full is very triggering. Something I like to remind myself is our bodies need food to function. Reminding yourself that I actually need this food to survive and be healthy, and I want to fuel my body. Food is fuel, right? Food is good for you. All food is good, no matter what health gurus or people will say. Food is good. Getting yourself to eat is a really good thing. And I know that, you know, there's certain foods that are more nutritious than others, but if you're just focusing on eating more regularly, eat the things that you want to eat. Don't pressure yourself into eating foods that you don't like. With me, my body actually reacts really badly when I don't feed it properly. My body has kind of developed like a kind of very intelligent habit of getting extremely bad gas pains when I don't eat often enough. So with me, the gas pain is what I'm trying to avoid. So I kind of just eat whenever I notice that hunger cue and I try not to ignore it. What do I do when family members point out my weight and tell me to work on it? I fucking hate that. I used to have certain family members that would tell me or that would remind me about me gaining weight. It's just so fucking rude. They're coming from a place of hating their body. They're projecting that onto you. So at the end of the day, reminding yourself that the only reason they're putting that pressure on you is because they're putting it on themselves. It's really fucking unfair that they have to project that onto you. But if that does happen, and I know it's hard, it's okay to be upset about it, but also just remember, this has no reflection on anything that's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Most of us nowadays are just trying to fucking survive and keep our head above water. If you notice yourself starting to become critical of yourself because that person made the comment, that is all you can do, is just notice when those thoughts start to come up again and choose a different thought. Oof, this is a hefty one. How to heal internalized fat phobia. Well, I've been reading a lot of books and doing some research on the origins of fat phobia and being aware and reminding yourself of what kind of society we grew up in. Once we're aware of all that, we can really start to reconcile that within ourselves and realize that we don't have internalized fat phobia because we're bad people. We have it just because we've grown up and conditioned in this type of society that shames fat.
And for what?
I recently just learned, actually since recording this video, that fat phobia is rooted in racism. It has its roots in the transatlantic slave trade. Fearing the black body, the racial origins of fat phobia, that is next on my reading list. I feel like just educating ourselves on the origins of fat phobia are ways to dissolve it, because we realize it's literally so bigoted that, like, how can we even still uphold this standard of beauty once we realize what's underneath it. That book is next up on my reading list. I can't wait to read it, and I encourage you to read it too. Particularly women's bodies are not existing for other people's pleasure. I think that's another thing I had to dismantle in my head is the most important thing about me is not my body. Even though society has drilled this into our heads, it's not true. There's been such an overvaluation of especially women's bodies. When you delve into internalized fat phobia, you also delve into internalized racism, internalized sexism, all of these other components that play a part in this. And honestly, I'm not even gonna sit here and say it's completely gone in myself. Like, I am trying every day to notice when those old patterns come up and those old negative fat phobic thought loops come up. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. None of us wanted to be ingrained with fat phobia, okay? This was not even our choice. But now we have the choice to just be aware and try not to judge yourself when those internalized fat phobic remarks come up in your head. That's really all you can do is just be aware and choose not to reinforce those themes in your life choices. How do you find out what triggers a bad body image day? Well, usually it's something that you see or hear or come across, and sometimes we're not even aware that those types of things get kind of ingrained in us for the rest of the day, and then we start having bad body image thoughts for the rest of the day. So it could be, you know, a social media post. It could even be like seeing someone's body and immediately comparing yourself to it. It could be just getting dressed in the morning. Sometimes it'll be me not being able to button up my pants all the way, like today. There's a lot of different things that could trigger a bad body image day. If you're having a But if you're having a bad body image day, I encourage you to just accept how you're feeling. I think that we can create more uncomfortability in us when we resist it, when we're like, no, I can't feel that way. So I would suggest just being like, you know what? I don't feel good about my body today. And that's fucking fine. We can't always feel great about our bodies. Even like the people that are healing, even me, like don't look at me and be like, oh, because I'm healing my body image, I have a great day every day. No. That's not the case. How do you get back to feeling connected to your body? I just feel stuck with that aspect. I think that that's very common. Some people have been so disconnected to their bodies for so long that they actually can't hear the cues and the subtle whisperings of their body because they've been so disconnected from it. What I would recommend and what I've been doing is a lot of mindfulness practices. So whether that's yoga, meditation, any sort of like somatic practice where you get to just feel into your body. It's a practice. I think that it doesn't come overnight and it doesn't come with just doing one mindfulness practice. I think it comes slowly after making mindfulness and body awareness part of your daily routine. You'll slowly start to hear and feel the slight signals that your body's sending you over time. So just be gentle with yourself along the way and know that you are slowly making choices that are benefiting you in the long run. And the last question, which is very relatable to me, by the way, how do I try to love myself after gaining weight and being judged? I've been focusing more on body neutrality versus feeling positive about my body positivity, simply because it's just easier to attain. I think if we put all this pressure on ourselves to love our bodies every single day, we're just gonna fucking resist that and be like, how the fuck, like that seems so impossible, right? So I think just acceptance is the main ingredient here. Knowing that if people are judging you, they're acting out of their own internalized fat phobia, and trusting that our bodies are extremely intelligent beings. They function on so many levels every single day without us asking them to. Trusting that divine intelligence of our body, that if we gained weight, there was a reason, an intelligent reason that we may not be able to grasp or understand, but just knowing that our bodies are gaining weight for a reason to benefit you. And I know it might not seem like that. It might seem like our bodies are out to get us, but they truly are not. They are always on our side, and they're actually always trying to help us survive. So I think reminding ourselves that even when we get sick, or even when we have pain in our body, or something doesn't feel good, that's a signal that our body is trying to talk to us. To me, gaining weight has literally been a blessing, because if I never gained weight, I wouldn't be faced with the challenge to love my new body as it is now. I think that my body changing was a gateway for me to actually accept it, because even when it fit more of the beauty standard, I still didn't accept it. I still didn't like it. I still thought that I looked ugly or bad. So now I look at my weight gain as like kind of a healthy challenge. And knowing that my body needed to gain weight, maybe it was for protection, maybe it was for safety, maybe it was, for comfort. There's always a reason for it. And I don't think it's our responsibility to always figure out what that reason is, but just accepting what form it decides to take and knowing that it's to help us, not to hurt us. I really hope that something I said in this video helped you. I'm like, oh my God, was I just like word vomiting all over the place? Let me know if any of this helped you. I hope it did. I'm just coming from my own experience and what has helped me, and hopefully it helps you too. I don't claim to be the body image expert, but I'm just on my own healing path, and I think sharing what we're going through always helps illuminate others and inspires others and gives others a little idea or a little hint. So hopefully that helped, and let me know if it did. Comment below. I can't wait to read your comments and respond to them. Share this video with a friend if you think it will help them. I have also had a lot of questions asking about their friends or their partners that have been having body image issues. So if you think that this video could help them, send them over, and I'd really appreciate that. And I'm sure they'll appreciate that. I go a lot more into detail about my own personal story and my healing journey on my podcast. So if you're interested in learning more about my story, go check out my podcast, Safe Space with Keara Graves. You can stream it here on YouTube, and you can also stream it on any podcast platform. But the video versions are only available on YouTube and Spotify. All the links are below. Just know that you are already on the path to healing, okay? You're already doing what you need to be doing. You found this video for a reason, and you found it because you have the intention of healing your body image, and that is literally, I always tell people and I tell myself the intention of wanting to heal is all you need, and everything will just flow afterwards. The universe will be like, okay, you want to heal? Here's a bunch of experiences and a bunch of signs that will lead you to getting there. A lot of my body image healing has also been based on faith in the universe, and it's been also very closely related to my spiritual journey as well. More about that on my podcast. For now, I will see you in my next video, and I love you so, so much. Mwah. Oh, here's a hug. I haven't done a hug in so long. Pinch your cheekies. Mwah.